Welcome back to the arcade, and today I'm going to do a little update on the Arcade Jason Vector TPG, or Test Pattern Generator. Not too long ago I did a review of this, and this is a great test pattern generator. I love it. It works great. The only thing that I had concern about was the cable that I found to go with it is kind of stiff, and because the VGA connector comes straight up out of the top, well, it's kind of in the way, and it's not very flexible. And yeah, that's the only gripe I had about it, and that's nothing to do with the unit itself. I'm sure if I looked long enough, I could probably find a more flexible cable, or I could even just use regular wires instead of a VGA cable and just get a VGA connector and solder the wires directly to it. That would probably be a good solution, but I thought I would look for a over-the-counter, or a standard solution. So what I said I was going to do was look for a 90-degree adapter. Okay, so I went on eBay, and this is what I found. It's a 90-degree adapter that will adapt at 90 degrees. So let's give it a try and see if it's any better. Okay, take the cable off. Now we take the 90-degree adapter, and let's see, yeah, go something like that. Okay, well, that's going to put the cable off out of the way, but it's still kind of big and tall. Let's see what the cable looks like on it. Cable plugs into there. Okay, well, that gets the cable basically out of my way. The only thing I see about it, well, if you're careful with it, I'm worried about it putting too much pressure on the solder connections right here where it's soldered to the unit. But if you're careful with it, I'm sure that would be fine. That's a pretty good solution. But is it the best solution? Well, let's try something different. I went on eBay again, and I started looking. Alright, let me take that loose again. Now let's take this 90-degree adapter off. And this is what I found. A cable with a built-in 90-degree adapter. And this is a rather short cable, but they have them longer. They have 3 sizes. I got the short cable because I didn't want to have to rewire my original cable. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug my original cable right into it. And this will make my cable a little bit longer, which might even be better. Okay, now we'll take this end Okay, now that's a little bit shorter, not by much, but it's little bit shorter. So yeah, I kind of like that. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with that. So that's just, you know, a couple ideas in case you kind of don't like the cable coming straight out the top. I tried to find a new connector that would solder to the board that had a 90-degree bend, but all of them were backwards. They wanted to go in this direction, which would cover the screen, so that wasn't an option. So, but yeah, I kind of like that solution right there. Plus, my original cable had this big chunky thing built into it, which I think is a EMI interference filter, and this short cable don't have it, so it's a little bit nicer right there. So, okay, I think I got a solution for that. Now, one other thing, when I was testing this, we noticed every now and then we had some interference. Now, when Jason watched the video, he figured it out, and when I was editing the video, I had already figured it out. I figured out that the interference, which I thought was the radio station across the street, we got a 50,000 watt AM radio station that bleeds in everything I got. Telephone used to bleed into the VCRs when we had VCRs. You name it, audio amplifiers, if they weren't shielded real good, it would bleed in. But, and that might be part of it, but we figured out that this has traces on top of the board, active traces, and the through holes are not sealed, they're open, so basically there's an electrical connection. So when I put my fingers on it, that's where the interference is coming from. So I was holding it in my left hand, I think during most of the video, and sometimes I was putting my thumb on the connection there, and as you can see, it just goes crazy. So, do we have a solution for that? Well, let's find out. Let me take this back off. I think it's going to be a simple solution. All we really have to do is to cover up these through hole junctions on the traces on the PC board here. Now, if you had some black, what do you call it, PC board mask, I'm pretty sure they make colors now. You know, all the old stuff used to be green. So if you had some mask, you could actually paint it on here if you wanted to. But I thought of something else. And it's real simple. I'm just going to take a little bit of clear packing tape. And I only really need it right there, so. And this is probably a temporary solution. I don't want to wrap it around because, well, you have to be able to take it apart to change the batteries. So, but I'll just do it for right now. I'll probably change this later anyway. Okay. I don't think I need to cover that up right there. I could cut a piece out that would lay across the whole top here, but it's mainly just for my, if I hold it in this hand, my thumb right there. So, let's go ahead and hook it back up. And turn it back on. Alright, here's the test. There we go. No more interference problem. So, quick little easy solution to a simple little problem. No big deal. Now, also, I discovered something. This has nothing to do with the test pattern generator, but my B&K scope, which is a 1535A, I didn't even know this until I downloaded the manual and looked in the manual. It has a connection on the back for the Z-axis, okay? So I thought, well, I wonder if the Z-axis will work on this. You know, the Z-axis changes the intensity, so if you use it, you're supposed to not see this retrace line. See this line, diagonal line going across here? That's the retrace line. If this was being displayed on the actual vector monitor, you wouldn't see this line right here because the Z circuit would cut that off. So I hooked a probe up to my my Z input on the back. Let's see what happens. Now, from what I've been reading, most of the scopes are set up backwards. I think they're positive, or I don't know if they're positive or negative, I forget which one, but you got a positive Z-axis, or it could be negative. I don't know which one this is, but I figured we'd try it here. So I'm going to hook it up on the, for black and white, it goes on the green. So I'm going to hook it up right here. And look what it did. So it must be backwards, right? I still got the retrace line, but the other lines are all out of focus. But I got playing around with this. I said, well, first let's see what the focus will do. I can focus it down a little bit. What about the intensity? All the way up. It seems like I can only focus on the Z-axis. Okay. All right. Let's turn the intensity down and see what happens. Whoa, look at there. It disappeared. Turned the intensity all the way down. And look at there. Now, does that mean my scope is set up right? Or am I just tricking it by turning the intensity? The intensity is all the way down. So I guess what I'm doing, the intensity is all the way down, but because I got that Z circuit hooked up, the Z circuit is turning it back up, if that makes sense. And then I use the focus to refocus. So we can go through the menu here, and this is white vertical lines, white horizontal lines, a white box plus cross, a white box, a white cross, white D-cross, white crosshatch. So, if anybody knows what's going on here, do I really need the inverter to invert my Z circuit, or is this working like it's supposed to? It seems to be working, but maybe it's just a little bit of trickery by turning my intensity down and adjusting the focus. Now if I turn, like I say, if I turn my intensity up, that's full intensity. What's supposed to be displayed is blurry, and I can focus the line, the trace line that's not supposed to be there. So I'm thinking that it's working backwards, that I really need that inverter to invert the Z signal. So like I say, if anybody that knows more about this than me, let me know in the comments what you think. But hey, if I can trick it and it works, why not? I don't see no harm to the scope. So okay, well there you have it. Just a little update. Basically, it was an update for the adapter for the cable. I'll put a picture of the eBay auction where I bought this, and I'll also put up a picture of the eBay auction where I bought this little 90-degree adapter in case somebody wants these. But if I remember talking to Arcade Jason, when you buy this from Arcade Shop, and last time I checked it's still not available, but I got a feeling they're going to be available real soon. Well, okay, as I was editing the video, I decided to check with Arcade Shop to see if he had a listing for the vector test pattern generator, and sure enough he has a listing for it, but it says it's out of stock and not available to order. But I haven't heard anybody say that they've ordered any, that it had been in stock, so I'm thinking that this is basically just getting ready to put them on sale. You know, you have to get the website all set up and everything before we can sell them. So I would think this means they're very close to be for sale. So keep a check out for Arcade Shop, and hopefully very shortly you'll be able to order one. I think the holdup was the adapter board that's going to come with these, which I don't have one. Arcade Jason said he'd send me one if I wanted one, but I'd already made up all my harnesses, so I really didn't need the adapter or breakout board. I guess I could get one just to see how it works and to review it, but we'll see. I don't know. But anyway, I believe he said that Arcade Shop is going to sell it with the VGA cable, and I believe he had found some cables that were more flexible, thinner and more flexible. So if that's the case, you probably won't need any of these adapters, and it probably won't even bother you if you have it coming straight out the top. I mean, you could bend it around and, like I say, under the bottom, and fix it under the bottom or whatever, or I could fix this to the side where it comes out the bottom. No big thing, but I like this a lot better, and I think it'll be a little bit better on stress for the solder joints, rather than the stress being this way. The stress will be more this way, which is wider, so I think that will actually help it. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay? Alright, well that's going to end this little short video. At least I hope it won't too long and too boring. Just a little update, and now we got to get into some other stuff, and we will be back shortly, hopefully, with something else. And yeah, now we got to figure out what we're going to do. So till then, this has just been another arcade fix. Have you had your arcade fix today?